Walk into Costco and it feels like paradise. Endless aisles, oversized portions, and deals too good to pass up. But here's the dark truth nobody tells you. Not everything in that cart is a bargain for your body. Behind the shiny packaging and bulk discounts, some of Costco's most popular foods are quietly sabotaging your health one bite at a time. Sure, Costco is the go-to spot for feeding families, hosting parties, or just stocking up for the week. But hidden among the giant muffins, frozen pizzas, and ready-to-eat favorites are products loaded with sugar, sodium, and chemicals that slowly chip away at your energy, waistline, and long-term well-being. The worst part? Many of these items are the very ones people rave about and toss into their carts without a second thought. That's why today we're exposing 12 popular Costco foods that might be delicious, but are secretly destroying your health. And trust me, number 12 will shock you because it's probably sitting in your kitchen right now. Number 1, Costco muffins, bakery section. Costco muffins. Yeah, I know, they're legendary. You walk past that bakery section and the smell alone dares you to say no. 6 giant muffins for under $10? On paper, it looks like the best breakfast bargain in town. But here's the kicker. Each muffin isn't really a muffin at all. It's basically a slab of cake disguised in a muffin wrapper. We're talking over 600 calories, 40 grams of sugar, and nearly a full day's worth of fat in one sitting. Multiply that by 2, because let's be honest, nobody stops at 1, and suddenly you've just eaten more than a Thanksgiving dinner before 10 a.m. Why does this matter? Because muffins have this sneaky health halo. People grab them for quick breakfasts, kids' snacks, or even road trips thinking they're a decent option. But what you're really eating is a sugar bomb that spikes your blood sugar, crashes your energy, and leaves you hungrier than before. And here's the worst part. With grocery prices climbing, these muffins are still dirt cheap compared to healthier options, which makes them even harder to resist. But remember, cheap at the register doesn't mean cheap on your body. Medical bills down the road? Not so affordable. Now, how do you handle them? If you're dead set on having muffins in the house, portion control and storage are your only defenses. Freeze them the second you get home. That way, you can take out half a muffin at a time instead of inhaling all 6 in a weekend. Trust me, that freezer is your best friend because on the counter, they'll vanish faster than you think. And just wait until you see what's coming up next. If you thought muffins were bad, the next Costco favorite is a cult classic that's been hailed as the ultimate bargain meal deal, but the truth hiding inside it is way uglier. Number 2, Kirkland Signature Hot Dogs, food court plus freezer. Ah yes, the Costco hot dog combo, the legend, the myth, the $1.50 miracle meal that hasn't budged in price since the 80s. People brag about it like it's the deal of the century, and in terms of cost, they're right. Where else can you get a giant hot dog and a drink for less than $2 in 2025? But here's the side nobody talks about. This so-called bargain is also one of the most dangerous repeat buys for your health. Processed meats like these are stuffed with sodium, nitrates, and saturated fats. The exact trio that doctors warn about when they say, watch your heart. We're not talking about a guilty pleasure here and there. We're talking about long-term risks. High blood pressure, clogged arteries, and even cancer links that keep popping up in studies. The scary part? You don't feel it today. It's slow, silent damage that adds up every time you say, it's just one hot dog. Here's why it's so tricky. The value is unbeatable. A single Costco hot dog breaks down to under $1 per serving when you buy the freezer pack. And that's in a world where grocery meat prices jumped 14% just last year. People stock up thinking they're beating inflation, but what you're really stocking is a time bomb for your health. Cheap now, expensive later. And storage? That's the easiest part. These things last forever in your freezer, which is exactly why they're dangerous. They're always there, always convenient, always tempting. If you really can't quit them, at least portion them out. Don't keep a full pack thawed in the fridge or you'll plow through them in a week. And here's the wild part. If the hot dogs are the cult favorite, wait until you hear about Costco's most beloved chicken. People swear it's the best deal in the store, but the truth about how it's made might ruin it for you forever. Number 3, rotisserie chicken. Costco's rotisserie chicken. The undefeated champ of the warehouse. People line up for it, post about it, even build meal preps around it. And at just $4.99 for a whole bird, it feels like the greatest grocery steal of all time. especially when everything else in the meat aisle keeps climbing in price. But here's the shocking truth. That golden, juicy chicken isn't as wholesome as it looks. It's not roasted with love, it's engineered. See, Costco doesn't just season these chickens, they inject them with a cocktail of sodium, preservatives, and flavor enhancers that make every bite addictive. We're talking over 2,000 milligrams of salt in a single bird, which is basically your entire day's allowance. Sometimes more. And it's sneaky because people think, oh, I'm eating chicken, that's healthy. But this isn't lean grilled chicken breast. This is salt-marinated meat that keeps you coming back for more while slowly wrecking your blood pressure. Why does it matter? Because Costco sells upwards of 100 million rotisserie chickens a year. That's not just dinner, that's a public health phenomenon. The affordability is almost weaponized. $5 today feels like beating inflation, but the hidden health cost? Expect it to rise a lot faster than the sticker price. And trust me, with feed costs skyrocketing, don't be shocked if even this untouchable $4.99 chicken finally creeps up in price soon. Storage-wise, here's the trap. Most people grab one for dinner, toss the leftovers in the fridge, and think they're set. But that salty marinade means the chicken holds moisture and breaks down fast. It's not great after a couple of days. If you're serious about stretching it, shred it the same night and freeze it in meal-sized portions. Otherwise, you're just setting yourself up for mushy meat nobody wants to touch by day 3. And if you think the rotisserie chicken is bad, just wait for the next one. It's the kind of frozen favorite you grab for family nights, but it's secretly a calorie landmine with more salt than seawater. Number 4, frozen pepperoni pizza. Frozen pepperoni pizza, the ultimate Costco crowd pleaser. Whether it's movie night, game day, or just a don't feel like cooking kind of evening, that giant box of pizzas feels like the smartest buy in the freezer aisle. For about $10 to $12 a box, you're feeding the whole family for less than the price of one takeout pie. Sounds like a win, right? Well, here's the ugly flip side. Every slice is basically a sodium bomb stacked on refined carbs and processed meat. Let's break it down. The crust? It's nothing but refined white flour that hits your bloodstream like sugar. The pepperoni? That's processed meat loaded with preservatives, nitrates, and fat. And the cheese? It's engineered for stretch and salt, not nutrition. Put it all together and you've got one serving that can pack nearly 900 milligrams of sodium before you even reach for a second slice. And we all know nobody stops at one. It's the perfect recipe for blood sugar spikes, bloating, and a slow road to heart problems if it's a regular staple. Why does it matter? Because frozen pizza is one of those sneaky budget saviors. Families load up thinking they're saving money, and in the short term, they are. But with grocery costs climbing, these boxes are expected to see another price jump of 10 to 15% this year alone. That means the cheap dinner solution is getting pricier, even while it chips away at your health. Now for storage, this is where pizza fools you. Yes, it can live in your freezer for months, but once you bake it, leftovers don't hold well. By the next day, the crust turns rubbery, the pepperoni leaches grease, and you end up tossing half of what you thought was a money saver. Pro tip, if you do grab a box, portion out single slices, wrap them in foil, and freeze them separately. That way you can bake only what you need instead of committing to a whole pie every time. And here's the kicker. If pizza is the comfort food villain, the next Costco favorite is the sleeper hit of the food court. People rave about it like it's a meal in itself, but the truth is it's packing nearly a full day's calories in one go. Number 5, chicken bake. Food court. The Costco chicken bake, the unsung hero of the food court menu. It's hot, it's cheesy, it's stuffed with chicken and bacon, and it feels like you're getting a full sit-down meal for just a few bucks. At around $3.99 a piece, this thing looks like unbeatable value compared to any fast food combo out there. But here's the problem. This isn't just lunch. It's a full-blown calorie ambush wrapped in a golden crust. One chicken bake delivers over 800 calories and nearly 2,000 milligrams of sodium in a single serving. That's the equivalent of eating a McDonald's Big Mac and a medium order of fries. Except you thought you were just grabbing a snack. It's deceptively filling, but all that sodium, refined dough, and cheese means your body is working overtime just to process it. Energy crash? Guaranteed. Thirst? Off the charts. And long term? You're stacking risks for blood pressure and heart health without even realizing it. Why does this matter? Because the chicken bake has that protein halo. People tell themselves it's chicken, it's better than pizza, But the truth is, the bacon bits, the gooey cheese, and that thick crust push it firmly into junk food territory. And with food court prices staying flat while grocery costs keep rising, don't be surprised if more people lean on the chicken bake as a cheap meal. But cheap today just means costly later when your health takes the hit. Storage tip? Here's the catch. Unlike frozen pizza or muffins, chicken bakes don't keep well once they're out of the oven. You can toss leftovers in the fridge, but by day 2, the crust is soggy and the filling tastes like salty paste. If you absolutely have to stock them, buy the frozen pack Costco sells and only bake what you'll eat that day. Otherwise, you'll be tossing more than you're saving. And here's the kicker. If the chicken bake feels heavy, wait until you hear about the next Costco snack. It's small, crunchy, and dangerously addictive, but it's also quietly sabotaging your blood pressure every time you reach for just one more handful. Number 6. Kirkland's Signature. Peanut butter-filled pretzels. Kirkland's peanut butter-filled pretzels. Now this one really plays tricks on you. On the surface, they sound harmless. Pretzels are just a snack, peanut butter has protein, and you get a giant tub for under $11 that lasts forever. Smart buy, right? Not so fast. These little nuggets are the definition of dangerously addictive, the kind of snack you keep within arm's reach, only to realize you've polished off half the tub without even noticing. Here's the kicker. Every handful is a hit of refined carbs, fat, and way more sodium than your heart signed up for. That combo sends your blood sugar spiking, keeps you craving more, and quietly pushes your blood pressure into the danger zone if you make it a habit. And because it's wrapped up in this snack food disguise, people don't even think twice about eating them daily. That's how they get you. Why does this matter? Because Costco's value sizing makes the problem worse. A regular grocery store bag is gone in a day or two, but a 56-ounce Kirkland tub feels endless. And trust me, you'll test those limits. And here's the financial trap. While the price hasn't skyrocketed yet, snack foods like this are projected to see at least a 10% jump this year thanks to rising peanut costs. Translation, that cheap, crunchy fix is about to get a lot more expensive, both at checkout and at the doctor's office. Storage-wise, these pretzels are built for the long game. They'll sit happily in your pantry for months if you keep the lid sealed. But that's the danger. They're always there, whispering, just one more handful. If you're serious about portion control, pour a small serving into a bowl and lock the tub away. Out of sight, out of mind. Otherwise, you'll binge through your month's worth of snacks in a single Netflix weekend. And here's the wild part. If you think salty pretzels are bad, wait until you see what Costco's been hiding in plain sight at every party and birthday. It's sweet, it's enormous, and it makes muffins look like child's play. Number 7. Costco sheet cake. The Costco sheet cake, it's practically a cultural icon. Birthdays, office parties, graduations, you name it. If there's a crowd, someone's showing up with this monster cake that feeds 48 people for under $25. On the surface, that's unbeatable value. Less than 50 cents a serving for dessert? That feels like winning. But here's the sugar-coated truth. Each slice is basically a direct ticket to a blood sugar roller coaster. We're talking over 50 grams of sugar in a single piece. And let's be real, nobody at a party is cutting those recommended serving sizes. Most slices are double that, meaning you could be putting away 100 grams of sugar before the candles are even blown out. That's not just dessert, that's diabetes risk in one bite. Add in the refined white flour and ultra-sweet frosting, and your body gets slammed with a sugar rush that quickly turns into an energy crash. Why does this matter? Because sheet cake is sneaky. It feels like an occasional indulgence, but when you add up birthdays, holidays, and office gatherings, it becomes a repeat offender in your diet. And here's the kicker. With sugar prices climbing globally, even Costco's sheet cake is expected to jump 12 to 15% in cost over the next year. So the cheap party hack isn't going to stay cheap, though your health might end up paying the biggest bill either way. Storage? Forget it. Sheet cake does not age gracefully. By day 2, the frosting hardens, the sponge dries out, and you're left with a slab of regret sitting in the fridge. The only real hack? Freeze individual slices in plastic wrap, then stash them in a freezer bag. That way, you can pull out one slice at a time instead of having a half-eaten cake calling your name every time you open the fridge. And here's the kicker. If the sheet cake is a sugar bomb, wait until you see what's lurking in Costco's frozen aisle. It's marketed as kid-friendly comfort food, but it's secretly one of the biggest sodium traps in the store. Number 8. frozen chicken nuggets. Frozen chicken nuggets. The ultimate kid bribe. Bad day at school? Nuggets. Don't want to eat veggies? Nuggets. Parents love them because they're quick, cheap, and foolproof. And at Costco, you can score a huge 5-pound bag for around $15, which breaks down to less than 50 cents a serving. On the surface, that's a family win. But here's what they don't tell you. These nuggets aren't wholesome chunks of chicken breast. Most of the time, they're mechanically processed meat glued together with fillers, breaded, fried, and then frozen solid. Each serving is loaded with sodium, cheap oils, and preservatives, and the breading is just refined carbs that your body turns straight into sugar. It's a salt-fat-carb bomb dressed up as kid food. And because they're so easy to pop in the oven or air fryer, most families serve them way more often than they realize. That's where the health trap kicks in. You're teaching kids to crave ultra-processed food while slowly feeding their future heart problems. Why does this matter? Because nuggets aren't just a kid thing anymore. Adults sneak them, teens inhale them, and Costco sells them in bulk like they're a survival food. And while the price feels steady, don't be fooled. Poultry products are expected to spike 10 to 12% in cost this year thanks to feed shortages. So the cheap family meal is about to get more expensive, all while quietly sabotaging your health. Storage-wise, nuggets are practically indestructible. Keep them in the freezer for months, and they'll taste exactly the same when you finally cave and cook them. But that's the danger. They're too convenient. You always have a lazy dinner option sitting there, waiting to pull you away from healthier choices. If you really want to keep them, ration them into freezer bags with serving sizes so you don't end up cooking half the bag and eating them just because they're there. And here's the kicker. If chicken nuggets are the sneaky villain of the freezer aisle, wait until you hear about Costco's so-called healthy snack mix. It looks innocent in a resealable bag, but the truth is, it's dessert in disguise. Number 9, Kirkland Signature Trail Mix. Kirkland Signature Trail Mix. This one is the king of the health halo. You see the nuts, the raisins, the big resealable bag, and you think, perfect. A smart snack I can feel good about. At about $16 for a 4-pound bag, it feels like an investment in your health. Fuel for hikes, road trips, or late-night study sessions. But here's the sneaky truth. This isn't really trail mix. It's basically dessert dressed up in hiking gear. Let's call it what it is. Half the bag is salted peanuts, which are calorie-dense and addictive on their own. Then you've got raisins coated in sugar. And the kicker? Those brightly colored chocolate candies that turn every handful into a mini bag of M and Ms. 1 cup of this mix can top 700 calories and nearly 30 grams of sugar. More than some candy bars. The nuts add protein, sure, but paired with that much sugar and fat, you're looking at a snack that's more likely to expand your waistline than keep you energized on a trail. Why does this matter? Because people treat it like a healthy staple. Parents pack it in lunch boxes, offices keep bowls of it in break rooms, and Costco shoppers love the value. But in reality, it's a sugar trap hiding behind the word trail. And the kicker? With nut and cocoa prices on the rise, don't be surprised if this bag creeps up another 15% this year. So it won't just cost your waistline, it'll cost your wallet too. Storage? Oh, it lasts forever if you keep it sealed tight in the pantry, but that's part of the problem. Because it doesn't go bad quickly, it just sits there calling your name. And let's be honest, nobody measures trail mix. You grab a handful, then another, and suddenly you've eaten half the bag in a weekend. If you must keep it, pre-portion it into snack bags so you don't trick yourself into thinking just a little isn't doing damage. And if you think trail mix is a sugar bomb, just wait until the next Costco classic. It's the breakfast food people swear by every morning, but in reality, it's a carb-heavy trap that leaves you hungrier than before. Number 10, Costco bagels. Costco bagels, the oversized breakfast that feels like a steal. You walk by that bakery section and grab a dozen for around $8, which breaks down to less than 70 cents a bagel. Compared to what coffee shops charge, that's highway robbery in your favor. But here's the problem. These aren't fluffy little deli bagels. They're carb grenades the size of your fist, and they're quietly wrecking your mornings. Each bagel comes in at about 350 calories, 60 grams of carbs, and close to 500 milligrams of sodium, before you even add a smear of cream cheese. That's the equivalent of eating 4 slices of white bread in one go. Pair it with cream cheese, and you've just built a fat bomb that spikes your blood sugar, crashes your energy, and leaves you hungrier a couple of hours later. The breakfast of champions? More like the breakfast of blood sugar chaos. Why does this matter? Because bagels trick you into thinking you're starting the day strong. They're filling, cheap, and convenient. But what they're really doing is setting you up for an energy crash before lunch. And here's the kicker. With wheat prices climbing globally, even Costco's bargain bagels are expected to jump another 10 to 12% in cost this year. So that cheap dozen isn't going to stay so cheap, even though the health cost has always been sky high. Storage-wise, bagels are a trap. Fresh out of the bakery, they're soft and irresistible. But by day 3, they turn dense and stale, which means most people either binge through the dozen or toss half of them in the trash. The smart move? Slice them, freeze them individually, and toast only what you'll eat. Otherwise, you'll burn through the bag just trying not to waste them and end up paying with your waistline. And if you think bagels are bad, the next Costco favorite might shock you even more. It's the frozen dinner people lean on when they don't feel like cooking, but it's so overloaded with salt and fat, it makes pizza look like a side salad. Number 11, frozen lasagna, Kirkland, or Stuffers. Frozen lasagna, ultimate Costco weeknight lifesaver. You're tired, don't feel like cooking, and there it is, a giant Kirkland or Stuffers tray ready to slide straight into the oven. For about $15 to $18, it feeds the whole family for less than takeout. Feels like a win, right? Except this isn't grandma's lasagna. It's factory-made comfort food, and your arteries know the difference. Each serving can hit 800 to 1,000 milligrams of sodium, packed with saturated fat from processed cheese and preservatives that let it sit in your freezer for months. And let's be real, nobody eats just one serving. A couple scoops and you've already blown past your daily salt limit. That's not just bloat, it's a slow grind on your blood pressure. The sneaky part? Frozen lasagna pretends to be a smart, budget-friendly dinner, but it's really a salt and fat trap designed for convenience, not health. And with dairy and meat prices climbing, expect Costco's trays to jump another 12 to 15% this year. So the cheap fix isn't just expensive for your body, it's about to hit your wallet too. Storage-wise, it lasts forever in the freezer, but once baked, the clock ticks fast. By day 2 in the fridge, the pasta turns soggy, the cheese rubbery, and the leftovers taste more like regret than dinner. The only hack? Portion it out and refreeze right after baking. Otherwise, you're tossing both money and health points. And if you think lasagna is bad, wait for the grand finale. The last Costco classic looks fun and innocent, but it's fried, sugary, and massive. A carnival treat in disguise. Number 12, Costco churros, food court. Costco, churros are legendary. You smell that cinnamon sugar at the food court, and suddenly you're justifying it. It's only a churro, how bad could it be? The truth? Each one is basically a deep-fried sugar torpedo made with refined flour, cheap oils, and enough sugar to spike your blood and crash your energy before you hit the parking lot. One churro packs 400 to 500 calories and 20-plus grams of sugar. Dessert territory without the cake or ice cream. And the fryer oils? Loaded with trans fats and omega-6s that fuel inflammation and quietly wreck your heart over time. Sure, they're cheap at around $1.50 to $2 each, but ingredient costs are climbing fast. Don't be surprised when the price goes up soon. Storage tip? Forget it. Churros are only edible fresh. An hour later, they're rubbery sugar sticks you'll regret reheating. That's why the churro is the perfect Costco junk food finale. Cheap, addictive, and engineered to keep you coming back. Because at the end of the day, some of Costco's biggest bargains carry the steepest price. Your health. And that's the list. 12 Costco favorites that taste great but slowly wreck your health. If even one shocked you, imagine what else is hiding in plain sight. Drop a comment with the Costco food you can't resist. We might feature it next time. And don't forget to subscribe because the next list is even more eye-opening.